Okay, that's gold. That's the daily. I told you last weekend gold is looking down. He's looking straight down. Well, yes, that happened. That happened. It continues straight down. And right now, the end of that fall is still not in sight. I think we are due for further falls. I'm going to show you the wave count here in a detailed manner. Let's have a look. The daily is now showing us, sorry, the 60 minutes. I'm going to show you here all the details. We come down right from the top and we have 1, 2, we have 3, we have 4 that ended right here, and we are now going for the fifth leg. That fifth leg, there is a limit on it because we are working with an assumption that you had an extended first. Given that we had an extended first, the fifth leg cannot be longer than the third, otherwise the third is the smallest, the shortest, and that can't be. So if you stick with this interpretation, you've got to pay attention that you put a limit, if you like, on the drop currently in gold, and if it doesn't continue lower than that figure that shows equality between the fifth leg and the third leg, then you have some indication from Mr. Market that you are probably getting the right wave count here. However, if it continues to drop through that figure, and I'll show you the figure in a sec, then it calls for reclassification of the labelings here. It means that you probably missed something here, and there is possibility that in fact we are dealing with an A, B. Okay, that is another alternative here, that's an A, that's a B. This is looking quite good in the case of silver. Okay, it's looking quite good in the case of silver, and that would easily open the gate for huge fall. Yes, because if all this is an A, that is not a C. There is plenty more coming. We are now at 1134. Yeah, you can factor quite a drop. Let me show you here on the daily. We could easily go and touch the floor here at 1040. Yes, I'm trying to get the best perspective for you to see what I'm talking about. But you remember that figure of the fifth leg that shouldn't drop under a certain number? The number is 1107.87. It's 1107.87. If it continues to drop under that figure, it means the interpretation that I had as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is no good. There is something else going on. And certainly if it breaks under 1107, it tells you the prospects for continuation down are looking great. And I would imagine that it's going to reach the floor here before too long. And let's have a look now at the 240 minutes and see if we can get some perspective, because it's so important that we get the right perspective here. Yeah, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to visualize here the alternative. Okay, we now got our figure 1107, and the market is not obeying that, and it's crashing through. Now what we are left with is this. We have an A, we have a B, and a C. Imagine that a C that could look like that. Now that's 1340, that's 1180. You're talking about $160 from here, from the end of the E, and that took place at 1178. Deduct $160, it takes you to 1018. 1018. That's a long way. We are right now at 1134. Now, okay, let's now zoom back to the 60 minutes. So you have a detailed review here, and we are coming down from our fourth wave, or the B. You remember? Or the B. So we are coming down. We have our 1, we have an A, B, C, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 appears to me third wave down. It can also be another 1, 2. Yes, don't be surprised. If we go for well-behaved fourth wave, what I mean well-behaved, it is just churning, churning out more tiny ABCs, and at the end of the day you see some perfect triangle. What appears to be the case in the case of silver, and then you go down, you know you are dealing with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fine. But if it drops immediately, Monday, like that, it's quite possible this is a 1 2 1 2. Yes, that's an A, that's a B, that's a C. Down we go in a third wave. Now here's silver. We have just examined the possibility of extended wave in the case of gold if you get that big C. And we also looked carefully at the Australian dollar, US dollar. And what you see on the screen here, whether we're dealing with a 1-2 or whether we are dealing with an AB, it is very, very likely that the C will not terminate right here. It just doesn't look, sensible. Look, I'll show you. If I go and I take I just measure it. I take the leg that we had here that is taken as an A. I go to a B and I pick what I think is probably the right end here. And you see, to reach equality, we are going to 14.3. And normally a C is an extended move that relates to the A. If that's correct, it's going to drop way under 14.3. It's going to go to 1.618. And for this, I'll have to go to the weekly because otherwise we can't see the figure. Let's have a look if we can see it now. Yeah, it's right here. It's a shocker. It's 12.54. Do you register? It's 12.54. It's going to break the floor that we have seen in December last year. That will be just an ABC. Now, the implication for the long-term wave count here, if we do indeed working here with an ABC X ABC, the implications are, I would say, not terribly pessimistic because it will probably argue that the market will come back vigorously. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about the B still ongoing, because we will be talking about an ABC X ABC, and it will come back to give you a whole series of ABC, 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 and this could drag on for at least another year, if not more. And then I would expect the market to drop. Okay, so that is not around the corner. You wonder, what is the alternative of the 1-2 that I put here? Well, look, we will discuss that in a few weeks, but just to give you a heads on here, if it breaks down even just under 14, yes, and suppose we get our C, we don't know, yeah, it's a C or a third wave, and then it just doesn't come back. It just crawls on the floor here. It's just, you know, like it's attempting to recover the support here, but it's not able to come back. Then you have to begin to factor that in fact you probably working with a 1-2, potentially another 1-2, or a 1-2, 3, 4, etc. Meaning the road down will be the right road immediately. It will not go into a sideways price action for months and months. It'll crash like head on, yeah? Now let's have a look at the 60 minutes. I'll jump straight to the 60 minutes. And here's the look at our A, B, or a 1-2. It does look more to me as a B, if you ask me. It also looks very similar, if you remember, to what we have seen in the Australian dollar, US dollar. That looks really like a triangle termination here, and that's the breakdown. And I think we have a 1-2. Take a look. I'll open it a bit. That seems to me like a 1-2, and that's A. That's an ABC, A, B, C, D, potentially going for a triangle. So that would be a perfect case of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That does not mean when it delivers the fifth leg that it's necessarily the end. It could be just wave 1 of C. Okay, so that's silver.